Do you remember the kind of player who made you sit up in your seat, rewind the replay 3 times, and shout, "What just happened?" That was Yannick Bolasie. Back then, there was a stretch in the Premier League when defenders genuinely feared this man, and not because he was scoring a hat trick every other week or bullying players off the ball. No, this was different. He embarrassed defenders with flair, not force. He humiliated them in front of packed stadiums with a single flick of the boot. Yannick Bolasie was never the polished product. He was the street footballer who somehow found himself wearing a Premier League kit. And yet, he made it work. He brought pure chaos to the pitch. That chaos, it was not just fun to watch. It was thrilling, electric, and completely unpredictable. At his best, Bolasie was a one-man highlight reel. Every time he touched the ball, something wild could happen. But as often happens in football, the joyride was cut short, injuries crept in, and slowly, the magic moments faded. The show did not end instantly. It just started showing up less and less. Still, those memories, they stuck with us. And if you watched him live back then, you probably still remember the noise, the moves, and the disbelief on defenders' faces. Do you remember those moments? Now let us go back to where it all really started feeling special. When Bolasie signed for Crystal Palace in 2012, things changed for the club. He did not arrive with fanfare or headlines, but if you saw him play in those early days, you knew something wild was coming. There was this feeling in the air every time he got the ball, like anything could happen. He was not polished like the academy-trained stars who moved with precision. He was rough, raw, and unpredictable, and that made him dangerous in a way others were not. His step-overs were unorthodox. His feints came out of nowhere, and often even the defenders looked like they had no idea where the ball was going next. Honestly, sometimes even Bolasie looked surprised at what he had just pulled off. That is what made it so entertaining. It was football without a script. And during those stretches, especially when Zaha was quiet or off form, Bolasie stole the spotlight. He did not just share the stage, he owned it. And fans loved every second of it. If you supported Palace during those days, you probably shouted his name a few times louder than anyone else's. Then came the moment that turned him from cult hero to internet legend. In a match against Tottenham, Bolasie did something ridiculous. A move that was so audacious, so completely outrageous, fans could not believe their eyes. It became known as the Bolasie Flick. Some of you might remember seeing it live. If not, I guarantee you have seen the clip online at least once. He spun the ball around one defender, glided past another, and somehow still had full control. It was not just flashy, it was magic. That clip went viral instantly. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, it was everywhere. People were sharing it with captions like, "What did I just watch?" Fans replayed it over and over again, trying to understand how he even pulled it off. That moment captured everything Bolasie was about. He did not play with fear. He played with joy. No drills, no rehearsed patterns, just instinct, rhythm, and confidence. And if you tried copying that move in the park afterward, do not worry, so did the rest of us. And it was not just flashy moves that made him special. He made elite defenders look ordinary. Each week, defenders in the Premier League faced a real problem. They had no idea how to stop him. Glenn Johnson struggled badly. Kyle Walker, one of the fastest fullbacks in the league, got left behind more than once. Bolasie was unpredictable, yes, but he was also fast. He had close control, and he played with a level of fearlessness that made defenders panic. Remember the Istanbul comeback against Liverpool? Bolasie was a key reason Liverpool completely lost control. His runs broke their shape. His movement dragged defenders out of position. His boldness turned that match on its head. And that was the beauty of watching him. He could change a game in seconds, not with a goal or assist, but just by making defenders nervous. Let us be honest, how many players genuinely scare defenders today with just their presence on the ball? Now here is where it gets even more interesting. Fans began to compare him to Brazilian wingers. And that was not just a joke. After yet another filthy nutmeg or ridiculous flick, you would hear chants like, "Are you sure he ain't Brazilian?" But the truth was even better. Bolasie was proudly Congolese. His game was shaped on the streets, not in elite academies. That gave him a different flavor, a different edge. His style was not based on tactics or systems. It was based on feel. It was about embarrassing the opponent. It was about making fans laugh in disbelief. While most wingers were being trained to pass, press, and stick to their zones, Bolasie danced through matches with total freedom, and young fans noticed. You could see it in playgrounds, in cages, kids trying to copy that signature swagger. He reminded people, especially the younger ones, that football was supposed to be fun, and then just when it looked like he might reach even higher, things changed. Bolasie got his big move to Everton, and with it came bigger expectations. But football can be cruel. A serious ACL injury hit hard and took away that explosiveness. It was one of those injuries that not only affects your legs, but chips away at your confidence too. The recovery was long, the rhythm was gone, loans followed, the big moments dried up. But you know what? Fans never forgot, and I think that says a lot. He may not have trophies lined up or stats that fill pages, but he left behind memories. He gave fans joy. He gave defenders nightmares. And that is not something you can measure. Even today, people still talk about Bolasie. Even now, playing in Brazil, he is still creating moments, still playing with that same chaotic joy. Because players like that, the ones who bring unpredictability and fun, they live forever in the minds of real football fans. So here is my question to you. Do you remember your favorite Bolasie moment? Let me know. Let us celebrate the showboaters, the risk takers, the ones who made football feel like magic. If you enjoyed that trip down memory lane and want more stories about football's most unforgettable mavericks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Seriously, do it now. You do not want to miss the next one. And hey, drop a like if Bolasie ever made you rewind a clip just to figure out what he did.